We're going to talk about the coming soon listings and the MLS rules and regulations. And this is based on the post that Steve Hawks put out on the board site that Amy Huntington shared into our Agents of Signature. And as we went through that, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of concern, because everybody's understanding was that the coming soon wasn't supposed to be broadcast out to the public. And that is the case. And so I've been on the phone with Stephanie Hill over at the board, the MLS, and also I've talked to Tom Blanchard. I've talked to our leadership team, Chris and Bonin and everybody, as we've kind of gone through this. And I've done a lot of research and reading, so I want to give you guys an update of why these are appearing on multiple websites, not just Redfin's, but other websites as well. And it goes back to the MLS introduced the new status on September 17th of 2019 to be able to do a coming soon listing. And the coming soon was a way to put your property on the MLS to basically test it. Maybe you're going to test the price, or you're working on getting the property up to speed so that it can be listed. It's an equitable way for potential and cooperating brokers and their clients to be made aware of such soon-to-be available properties by which showings may be permitted. But it's not advertised out to the public in any way except for coming soon. So the definition of the coming soon listing, and I apologize, this is kind of long, but I thought it was important that you kind of see this, but it's to indicate that the broker or agent and the seller of the property for sale are getting the property ready before marketing status. And this is intended, this has to be done with the seller's permission, and you have to have a listing agreement. And this status is not intended to give the listing broker an advantage in finding a buyer for the property to the detriment of cooperating brokers, or to circumvent the selling of the property on the open market. So that's very important. We didn't create, or the board did not create a coming soon listing so that we could get some kind of an advantage. It's just basically to comply that we're able to put it on the MLS and people are able to see it ahead of time. The coming soon status: the seller and the listing broker may not promote or advertise the property in any other manner other than coming soon. This status is for short-term use to active status within 30 days or less. And this must have a listing agreement, like I said before. Is mandatory that the seller accepts this. The listing must be entered into multiple listing service within 2 days, and the property types are basically all of them: residential, single-family, condo, townhouse, manufactured, high-rise, multiple family, vacant land, residential, rental. All those are there. Coming soon must have at least one image uploaded upon input, and the maximum days a listing can be in the coming soon listing, again, is 30 days. And the listing must have what's called an OMD, or an on-market date. And that on-market date is entered in, and again, it has to be equal to or less than 30 days. While the listing is now this is important. This is number 7, and this is where everyone got up in arms here. Because, you know, when you look at this and say, well, why isn't the coming soon listings on our websites? Well, because the MLS rules state, while the listing is in coming soon listing status, it is not viewable by the general public via IDX, RETS, or API, which is an application programming interface. So all of our data that is put on to our websites is done through IDX, Internet Data Exchange. That's where we agree to put to share our data with other people so that we can put their listings on our website as well. And so here it's saying that while it's in coming soon, we are not able to, it does not syndicate through IDX at all. Okay, so again, we're going to come back to this, because if this is the case, then how are some brokerages, in particular one that was identified in that post, able to put that on? So we'll come back to that. Number 8, the listings entered in the MLS with coming soon listing status shall automatically transition to active status on the market date. So once it's put in the system and you identify that date, you don't have to do anything else. It will automatically transition into the active status. The active days on market, and this is a question I've gotten a lot, will start when the listing transitions to the active status. So If you have it in coming soon for 30 days, those days on market don't count because you're technically not supposed to be marketing that property in anything but coming soon. And number 11, listings may not be transferred from any other status to coming soon listings. That means if you have something in ER or under contract, you cannot move it into a coming soon status. It has to be in the initial time when you put it into the MLS. Okay, so we're going to come back to this. Number 7, while the listing is in the coming soon listing status, it is not viewable by the general public via IDX, REDS, or the API. So when this was initially posted up, this was the response that Vonda had put out on the chain that basically says it can't be done. So let's go back and find out why this happens. We have to go back to 2008. On May 27th of 2008, NAR and the U.S. Department of Justice reached a favorable settlement, concluding a 2-year DOJ investigation followed by a 2.5-year litigation regarding NAR's multiple listing policy as it pertains to the display of listings from the MLS on brokers' virtual office websites, VOWs. That's the key, virtual office websites. In 2008, 2009, all MLSs were required by the settlement of U.S. versus NAR. The case brought by the Department of Justice challenged NAR's it challenged the previous VOW policy. Way back before this, you used to be able to opt in or opt out if you wanted that property to appear on a virtual office website. And there was a lot of people that were marking no because, so you look at like a Redfin or some of these other virtual office websites, they may offer discounts or have a different business model than we do. And so what this lawsuit was basically saying is that we were treating them unfair, and it was unfair business practices, and it was collusion and almost like an antitrust. And so this was reversed, and they got different privileges or we couldn't withhold information from them anymore. That's also in the listing agreement when the opt-in and opt-outs came about. And that is designed around this because now that all the data had to go to the VOWs, you had the opportunity on the AVNs, the automated values, and also the addresses and stuff like that. That's when that was introduced into the listing agreement, and it's all because of this. So we do not receive the coming soon listings in the IDX feed, but the VOWs, the virtual office websites, do. Okay, but the virtual office websites are supposed to operate under a different set of rules. And there's some criteria. And this is how they are able to do it. So they have found a loophole to get this on the website. But based on these rules, I don't feel, and the conversation I had with Stephanie at the MLS this morning, they're looking into it to make sure that they're following the rules that they're supposed to follow. And so one of those is the participant that is coming on to, or the participant must obtain the name and a valid email address for every registrant. Everybody that comes onto that website is supposed to register to get this access. The participant must require each registrant to have a username and a password, right? And then the participant, which is the broker, must assure that each registrant's password, nice spelling there, expires on a date certain, but may be provided a renewal of the password. So what that means is that they can access more data than maybe they can on our website, but they have to have registered for that. So whereas you could just go to their website and see these coming soons, that could be the violation that is either going to get them fined or get them to lose their status of the VOW and to lose that feed. So where I'm going with this is that, yes, it is happening, and there is just about 12 VOWs, virtual office websites, that are receiving information from the MLS. And so there's not a lot, but there are a few of them out there. So they'll all be looked at to make sure that they're following the rules. And as long as they're following the rules, they'll be able to continue to get the data and move forward. Now, with that being said, the data really belongs to the brokers, right? We put it into the MLS, which gives the MLS a little bit of control over that. and our board has rules, and our MLS has rules. And so one thing that will most likely be looked at by the board, at least I'm hoping, and I'm going to push for, is to reevaluate or look at, do we want the ability to post coming soon listings on all of our websites? Because that would be a great opportunity for all of us to continue to market and generate leads. Again, it has to be marketed under the coming soon banner, which means it's not out there on the market, but the opportunity is there. So hope this helps. Hope this answers a lot of your questions. I want you guys to know that you're always welcome to reach out to us directly, and any of the brokers, and we're happy to answer any questions. And if we don't know it, and we will get those answers for you. Like I said, this came up over the weekend. I wanted to make sure that I did all the research possible. I had ideas of everything, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to steer you guys wrong. So it was important. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them into the comments here. I'll hang out for a minute, and I'd be happy to answer any of them. Or I will be monitoring these, and we will be able to respond to them as well.